Hey, this is Wester70 with gameplay and commentary on games that you might enjoy. This is a game that a friend of mine introduced me to, and it's a fun little thing. It's called RimWorld. It's an alpha version, and in fact, there was just recently an update to it, so actually, it's going to be a little different from what I've actually been playing lately. It's a single player game, at least at this point, and I think it has a lot of customization that you can do in it. You can set off the challenging levels of the game, whether or not you want it to be hard or complex or whatever. And so it's highly customizable, and it might be a lot of fun for people who are interested in doing a resource building game. You actually set up in the initial parts of the game the complexity, the level that you want to play at, and then once you do that, then the game can be set to just about whatever level you want it to be. And so with that, let's get into the game. I'm not going to take you through all of the different parameters that you will need to get the game going. I think that we'll cover that in later sessions on the game. Just suffice to say to give you some basic outlines of what the game is about and how I see it. And we'll go from there.
One of my friends, McCulf, tipped me off to this game, and so I've been playing it, and it's been an interesting game. At first, I wasn't too sure of how much I was going to like the game, but I quickly became hooked and got into the game. There aren't a lot of tutorials out there. McCulf has some that you'll certainly enjoy, and I recommend that you check out his channel. It'll be down in my description. It took some getting used to, and basically the overall strategy, as far as I can tell, for the game is a increasing struggle to maintain what you've developed and built in a particular colony on this world. You're only playing in a very small part of the world at this point. You only have limited access to that one area. I assume at some point that will open up to others. So it's a game that you have to. It's a resource game. You develop your resources and you manage those resources so that you can survive in this particular planet you wind up on. Um, what I kind of like about the game, which since you only have a small area that you're working in, you you can quickly expend or deplete the resources in your area quickly, and particularly metals that you mine. And once you've expended those resources, you're pretty much out of the game in terms of certain things, and it's very difficult to go beyond that point. The the trick, though, for that is you interact with traders and slavers and other people who fly by overhead, and you can trade with these people. And what you have to do is set up the raw materials that you use to trade for finished goods. And that's how you get yourself out of having limited resources, because you start to develop wood, you start to develop food, metal, and things like that, things that you happen to find. Now, you're also given what essentially are gifts that drop in from the sky, and they are kind of random kind of things. Sometimes it's food, sometimes it's medicine, sometimes it's metal, sometimes it's uranium, that kind of thing pops in, and then you can use those things for trade purposes, and that's pretty much all they're good for. So when you find these things, you take them and you put them in a zone. Now, zones are pretty much the key to this game and how you zone your resources. And there are some resources that you don't want in your area and other resources that you do, and you want to manage them. You want to put your surplus materials in your trading zone. Uh, you don't want dead bodies in there, so you put those in another place where they're eventually taken care of. What's interesting about the game is that you can interact with the people in your planet up to a certain point. You can have them do certain things, but for a lot of the game, you kind of give them directions through. Here, let me show you the. Bring up the game. So right now the group is awaiting an attack. And you see Carrie, Bruno, Maverick, Terrell, Bryn, Falcon, Jesse, and Kazuki. And these guys all have a particular series of parameters. And here's all the different people, what their jobs were before they came to your little colony. You start out with 3 of them. So what you do is you have these people that have these different things that they can do. Firefighting, doctoring. Warden actually is warden in terms of prisoners and somebody who looks after the prisoner. Cooking, hunting, constructing, repairing, growing, mining, plant cutting, crafting, art, hauling, cleaning, and researching. The research menu is pretty limited at this point. These are the things that you can research: hydroponics, pneumatic picks, stone cutting, slag refining. Opening or researching each one of these categories gives you access to different things. And so you should immediately assign somebody job of researching over here. The little boxes that are highlighted in white indicate the relative strengths of the individuals to these particular categories. Some people are good at wardens, some people are good at hunting, others are at growing, and so on. So these are the kinds of things that your individual character is good at. Now if you click on the particular person in the lower left, you come up with 3 tabs that give you some basic information on your character. And for instance, the Purple Falcon, his age, his backstory: he's a cave child, he's a gatherer, he's city slicker. The things that he's good at are highlighted with these little flame things. He's good at shooting, but his actual skill level is 8. Shooting is actually only 4. But he's better at construction and growing. So the higher the number over here, the more relevant he is to that particular thing. So obviously, you would want him to do construction and growing because he would excel at those things. Now the character, in terms of his this is immediate needs, and these things change through the course of the day and the evening. So at the end of the day, he's more interested in food, rest. He's effective though, and it talks about what kind of stuff he's got on his feet, which I think is odd, but that's the way it goes. Now these bars kind of tell also his current mood, and you got to remember that this is just current information that you're looking at, and this changes. So he was socializing. He has a spacious interior to live in. He doesn't like being in dark, and he doesn't like eating nutrient paste. So those lower his overall happiness. So right now he's pretty much there and working out. So he's not too bad off at this point. Terrell is a noble, and he's good at social, melee, and shooting, and he's not good at a lot of other things. He's kind of like a parasite on the group, although I use him for communicating with different people, or with a prisoner. He's good at talking to them and convincing them, if you wish, to join your colony. Um, so this is your group. It's kind of, you can choose whether you have people join the group or not. You can take prisoners and let them get out or escape or whatever. And so there's a lot of things that can be done to how people respond. Um, Over here, where I have, this is silver. Let's see. And you'll see that on the bottom left of the screen. Uh, this is medicine. This is food, potatoes, wood, that kind of thing. This is stone blocks that you can create out here through your mining effort. And so whatever is on this zone, this trading zone, is stuff that you trade with your traders. So silver is the currency. Silver is only good when you're actually trading with other people or with the people in space, the spaceships traders that come by in space. So what you want to do is you want to sell your potatoes, your stuff from your medicine and things like this. The medicine you can't actually use in the game. You can only use it as a trade commodity. So if you find something like that, when I first found it, I thought, oh, I could heal my people better or something like that. Not so much. What you got to do is you got to sit there and uh, sell it back to, or sell it to the traders, and then you can get silver for it, from which you can buy better weapons and other things like that. So that's the kind of thing that you want to do. You have to have it in the zone within the trader limit, so that these items up here, for instance, are not going to be traded. Even though they're in the zone, they're outside the limits of the trade beacon. So I'll have to adjust this zone to eliminate that part. As you increase in your sophistication of your group, so does the challenge. And down here, you can see that I am going to be challenged. These are the guys that are going to come and get me. They are the vultures. In the overview, you can see there's different factions that will interact with you. Let's see, the vultures here, they're a minus 90 hostile, so they will come and attack me. The most friendly group is Utopia's Rock, and I made the mistake of rescuing one of their injured people because he was dying, and so I took him prisoner so that I could save his life, but that ticked off the Utopia's Rock people, who then became unfriendly to us. They aren't unfriendly to the point where they're going to attack us, but it's close. Now, like this character here, he's got an M24 rifle. This guy's got an M24. He's got a pistol and a Uzi. This guy's got a Lee Enfield rifle. They have, as you can see, a variety of things. This guy's got Molotov cocktails. There's quite an abundance of weaponry here that they brought forward. I don't even know how many people were in this group. The problem being that they come in waves, and the waves get increasingly bigger and bigger. This are the residue of the last waves. As you can see, I've been attacked a lot. And this is a crematorium that you use to burn all the bodies up. Now, once upon a time, I had a cemetery where you dig little graves and you put each of the bodies in its own individual graves. But that quickly becomes monumental. This whole place would be filled with graves if I had to do that. So that's why you have this crematorium over here, so you can do cremations. You don't want dead people hanging around because it lowers the morale of your group, and if the morale gets low enough, they'll either go crazy and start shooting your own people if they have access to a weapon, and they all do, or they wander off and leave your village and you don't see them again. So you need to be careful about that. You need to keep your people happy. You need to give them their own rooms so they're big enough that they don't feel crowded. You need to make it so that you can, that they're relatively happy. You need to keep them fed and that kind of stuff. Um, what you have, of course, is you're looking at a top-down view. These are the rooms that each of the persons have. I have walls around my whole settlement, and this is outdoors. These are solar generators, and they will collect power, and then these are batteries that will store that power for the evening and things like that. You'll find as part of this game that a lot of the times you'll have solar flares and you have an inordinate number of eclipses. There must be all kinds of moons out there. So you're always losing your power. At first, you have options to get like generators, geothermal generators. Over here, steam geyser, and you can use that to generate power. So I did that, and I had one here, and then I had another one down here. There is one. You have to be careful. You have to check for these things. So, but the problem with that is that these devices or these facilities are sort of randomly generated across the map. And what you need to do is you need to maintain those because you have thunderstorms and lightning storms, and those start fires, and the fires will burn up these things in a snap. And what I found is that when you have your people wandering way off into different areas of the map, and this is the map, you don't really want them wandering around too much. So you want to keep them so that you can see what's going on, because you're attacked randomly by squirrels and rats and their equivalent of a buffaloes they call them. So you want to be cognizant of the fact that you want to keep these people close at hand so you can kind of watch out for them, because when some of these things occur, they occur quickly, and you have to be able to react fast enough to get them. And if they're injured bad enough, they'll go unconscious or incapacitated, as they call it, and then you have to come in and get somebody to come and rescue them. And rescue basically means they got to go to bed. They have to be put in their bed to do it.
So you'll find that once the guy is in bed, then the other people who are doctors, so to speak, will then take care of that person, and eventually they'll revive and go back to work, as we all should. And I think it's a pretty interesting game. It has a lot of potential. It is got new stuff coming into it all the time, so what I'm showing you right now will change, and some of the gameplay will be different, of course. But I think it only is going to get better. It's already pretty good, and I think you're going to enjoy this little game. I look forward to seeing more things happening with it. So with that, we will bid you adieu. Take care, and thanks for watching.